This is Tar Heel Talk, an in-depth look at the issues and people making news in North Carolina. Here's your host, Sonia Williams.
If you are looking for a furry friend this holiday season, today's guests are here to help. And joining me now is Pam Miller, who is the founder and president of Safe Haven for Cats. And also joining us is Ginger Rice, who is their volunteer coordinator. Thank you both so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Pam, you started Safe Haven for Cats out of your garage.
I did.
Give us some history, and it's been going on now for 25 years.
It's true.
Give us some history on the organization and your mission.
Well, I started rescuing cats on my own about 27 years ago, and I got really interested in the no-kill movement in the United States at that time, and there wasn't anything like that in the Triangle area. And at that time, we had no facilities at all, really, for stray and abandoned cats and kittens in the entire Triangle. And so I wanted to start the first no-kill animal shelter just for cats in the area. And so we started rescuing cats, and we had heated and air-conditioned our 500 square foot 2-car garage.
Wow.
And over a period of about 4 years, we raised money, we incorporated, we became a nonprofit, and we rescued and found homes for about 365 cats from our home in those first 4 years. And we saved enough money that in 1999 we were able to open the first permanent facility, the first permanent no-kill shelter for cats in the Triangle.
And what does it mean to be a no-kill shelter?
Yeah, so a no-kill shelter is a limited access shelter, which means that one cat has to get adopted before another cat could come in, and that we don't euthanize for space, but we do use euthanasia in the true sense of the word, that if an animal is suffering, is in pain, and there's no hope for recovery, euthanasia is a humane option for those types of kitty cats.
Mm-hmm. And Ginger, you are the volunteer coordinator. Why did you decide to get involved with the organization?
Well, I actually started as a volunteer in 2015. And I started by adopting a cat from Safe Haven, and I had a great experience with my adoption counselors, and I wanted to do that. So I became a volunteer adoption counselor. And then about 3 years ago, I was in between jobs and just became more involved in Safe Haven. Anything from doing cleaning to medicating and feeding the cats. And about a year ago, they hired me as a part-time staff member, and just a few months ago, I became the volunteer coordinator. So I just really believe in their mission, and I really like and enjoy helping people get connected to an organization like Safe Haven.
Absolutely. And I know we're going to talk about some of those volunteer opportunities a little bit later in the show, but we're just coming off of Black Friday, and you had a huge event and a great turnout for that. Tell us a little bit about that and how you get people to come and visit the shelter and adopt cats.
Well, we're very lucky in that we've been in business now for 25 years in the Triangle, and we've adopted out almost 10,000 cats in that time.
Wow.
So we have a huge family of adopters, volunteers, donors, fosters, people all over the Triangle who know Safe Haven, who trust us, who have have had a good experience there. So a lot of word of mouth. But we also, we do a few special events about 5 times a year, and one of them is our event after Christmas, after Black Friday, after Thanksgiving, because we all have enough. We don't need to go shopping, but we have, in our shelter, we have hundreds and hundreds of cats and kittens. They're all stray, abandoned, injured, orphaned cats and kittens that have no homes. They all came from the streets. We take about a third of our cats right from the community. We take another third of our cats from our partner euthanizing shelters in Wake County and Franklin County, Granville County. And so these cats would have nowhere to go and would possibly be euthanized in our traditional shelters were it not for Safe Haven and the family of people that come. So we love to get the word out that we have these cats who have had all of their medical care, been spayed and neutered. They have all of their vaccines. They have microchips. They have been you know, taken off the streets, rehabilitated, and the only thing they don't have is their new home.
It's a home.
So Black Friday adoption event was very successful. We adopted about 48 cats last weekend.
And you have another event coming up this month. Tell us about that.
So December 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to have a Christmas adoption event. All cats, the adoption fee is reduced from $105 to $25 per cat. And we will have probably about 50 cats ready to go home. Our capacity at our shelter is 100. We're licensed for 100 cats, and then we have about 30 or 40 in foster care. So we're taking care of about 140 cats every day. So we don't have a lack of cats coming through, so we won't run out. We'd like to, but we probably won't run out. So we'll have lots of really great cats, and you know, people are off during the holidays. They tend to have more time at home. So there is a little bit more time to acclimate a new cat to your house and get them into your routine and have fun.
And I'm sure people are wondering about the crates that we have on the table. You have 2 cats here who are available for adoption.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's meet them.
All right. Well, let's meet. Let's meet Panthro and Tigra. So these guys are brothers that were actually abandoned at our shelter. So we do get some kitty cats that are just left there sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
And they were left here when they were about 5 weeks old. So they were really little, barely, you know, able to survive on their own. And so they went to foster care for a while. And they came back and they've had all their medical care. They've been neutered, had all their vaccines.
And I think that's important for people to know that once you have a cat in your facility, then they are neutered.
Oh, absolutely. So we practice pediatric spay and neuter, and so it is very, very safe. And throughout the humane community in the United States, it's very safe for kitty cats to be spayed and neutered when they reach about 2 pounds, and that's usually around 10, 11, 12 weeks old. So there are no animals that leave our shelter that ever have the possibility of reproducing, because you know, we're still euthanizing in the United States now about 1.5 to 2 million animals a year. About 4,000 cats here in Wake County will be euthanized this year. So there is absolutely the importance of spaying and neutering these cats before they are adopted is really a huge part of our mission. And so we do pediatric spay and neuter, very safe. Been doing it in the United States now for about 20 years. And so these guys have already been neutered.
Oh, they're so well behaved.
Aren't they good?
So sweet.
They say we kind of like this. We like being on TV.
Now, how can people find out more information about Safe Haven for Cats?
So we have a really good website that has a lot of information about our programs and services. You know, that include a pet food pantry, include spay and neuter services, that include a lot of education materials, and it's safehavenforcats.org.
They can always call 919-872-7233 and get more information.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. Want to hear more about these little guys when we come back. We're back with more on Safe Haven for Cats after these messages. Today's show focuses on the organization Safe Haven for Cats, and with us again is Pam Miller, who is the founder and president of the organization, and also Ginger Rice, who is the volunteer coordinator. Now, before the break, we got to meet 2 wonderful, adorable cats who happen to be brothers and available for adoption. But you have, like you said, you can have 100 cats that are available for adoption. Talk a little bit about the cats that you have available and how people can get connected.
Well, we have a really great non-threatening, kind of a low-key process for adopting. We really believe that the adoption process of getting a new cat should be very conversational and not confrontational. And so we encourage people to come to our shelter.
And see these adorable cats. Look at them.
Fill out an interest survey so we can find out a little bit about what your household is like. Is it really active? Are you home all day? Are you gone all day? Do you want kittens? Do you already have a 15-year-old cat in your home? You know, you might not want to bring home a kitten, something like that. And then we have conversation. People bring their families, they come in, they walk through the shelter. We have 50 cats sitting really right there that you can choose from on any given day. We have rooms that you can go in and take your kitty. We call that test driving your kitty. Kitties come in, your family visits with them, gets to know them, pets them, sees what they're like. And you can visit with as many cats as you want. You can take 2 hours, you can take 3 hours. You might not find somebody that day. Come back another day.
Absolutely.
But if you do find somebody, the kitties can go home with you that day. They have all their medical care. They're ready to go.
What are some of the other services that you provide to cats?
Well, we have a really strong mission around spaying and neutering. So one of the things that we have that is rather unique in the state is that we have a low-cost spay and neuter clinic that's a huge program of Safe Haven for cats. It was founded in 2001, and since it opened up, we have provided sterilization services for almost 30,000 cats. It's open 5 days a week, and it's a low-cost or no-cost sterilization clinic. That's all we do. We never turn anybody away, and so we make it possible for people who have a need to get their kitty cat spayed and neutered to be able to do that no matter what. That's one of our really biggest services. And then we run a pet food pantry. If people are having problems feeding their cats or dogs for a short period of time, we will provide them with food to take care of their animals until they get back on their feet.
Right. Excellent services. And again, how can people connect with you and find out more and take advantage of all those services that are available?
Yes, everything is available on our website at safehavenforcats.org. We also have a lot of services available for our community cats. You know, based on population, the population in the Triangle is 1.3 million people. We think there are probably, you take about 10% of that, so there are probably about 130,000 stray and feral cats in the Triangle. And we all want the same thing. We want less cats. We want them to stop reproducing because there's no homes for them and they are, you know, at great risk.
Right.
So we do have a lot of programs to help people trap those kitties, bring them into our clinic, get them spayed and neutered, put them back. They're feeding them already. And then they can't have kittens, and we don't have that explosion of one is now 10, is now 20, is now 30, is now 50. So that's another huge program that we talk a lot about on our website.
And that's extremely important on reducing that cat population in the community. I can imagine, Ginger, with all of the programs and services that you provide, there's a great need for volunteers.
We do. We could not do the work that we do without our volunteers. We have around 250 active volunteers now. It takes about 15 volunteers on average every day, and that's 7 days a week. So if you do the math, that's about you know, a little 200 and some that can do that. We've got over 5,000 hours of volunteer service just this year, starting from our fiscal year in July. That's a lot. If you think that a volunteer is valued at about $23, that's a lot of money that organization is saving. Our biggest need is our shelter cleaning team. That is a shift that's every day from 9 to 11. These cats, they get excellent care. The volunteers come in and spot clean their cages, scoop the litter, make sure everything's presentable for the adopters to come in later. You know, and they get time to play and spend with the cats when they're finished. So it's kind of rewarding. It's kind of an incentive. And a lot of our volunteers start out coming and doing the clean and play shift with our shelter cleaning team. And some move on to other areas such as adoption counseling or helping with the pet food pantry that Pam talked about earlier. Even if they're crafty, they can do mouse making. We make catnip mice that we sell in certain vets' offices, and those things can be done at home. So we just couldn't do it without the volunteers that we have, and we really think that they're the heart and soul of our organization.
And you have volunteers of all ages.
We do. The age, minimum age is just depending upon what the volunteer opportunity is. To volunteer by yourself in the shelter at 16. But with a parent, you can be as young as 10 years old for certain opportunities, and that just depends on what that opportunity is.
That's a great way for a lot of our students, especially our high school students, to get those community service hours.
It is. We do have a lot of students that are getting community service hours. We have a lot of college students in the summer that want to volunteer in the summer and at breaks. Just this past week, we actually had 3 different sets of parents and children, adult children, but in college coming together to volunteer. So it's a great thing to do as a family, and we encourage that. And it's really fun to see when the child gets the parent involved instead of the parent getting the child involved.
Why is it so important to have this no-kill shelter in the Triangle area?
It gives us, it really gives us a lot of hope to have a no-kill shelter in our area. Like I've mentioned before, when I first started, there were very few no-kill shelters in the United States. This is the norm now. When I started, we were putting 15 million animals to sleep in the United States every year. That's down to 1.5 million animals. We have made so much progress through the no-kill philosophy. But what we also do is we work a lot in communities. It takes the whole community. So we work really closely with our traditional shelters, with our open access shelters. We work really closely taking animals from there into our shelters so that they don't have to be euthanized there. The more that we can take from there, the less have to be euthanized in our whole community.
Right.
But spaying and neutering is really the key to it all. We have to continue to push to make services available for people that it's affordable, it's easy to do, it's convenient so that people can come and have their cats and dogs spayed and neutered.
Absolutely, that's important, and just educating the public on getting that done, because you talked about the number of strays that you have coming into your clinic every day. It's important to educate people on getting that done.
It is, and we also have an education series. It's called the Feline Fundamentals, and we have 8 classes a year that are really well attended, and they cover a lot of interesting topics. How to trap and take care of a feral cat and get it spayed and neutered. The basics of TNVR is what that one's called. We have a class on what to do if you find an orphan kitten. If you find a kitten in your yard that doesn't have a mother, what to do about that. Cat Communication 101. What if you have a senior cat? What are some of the things you really would like to take care of your senior cat? So a lot of education in our series also is it's very well attended.
Okay. We're going to take another break. We'll talk more in just a minute. We'll be back with more Tar Heel Talk after these messages. Today's show focuses on Safe Haven for Cats, and with us again is Pam Miller, who is the founder and president of the organization, and also with us is Ginger Rice, who is volunteer coordinator. Now, before the break, we were talking a little bit about some of the volunteer opportunities that are available. There are hundreds of cats, maybe even thousands, in need of adoption throughout the Triangle area. Talk a little bit about the events that are coming up. Ginger, I know that there is a volunteer coordinating event that's coming up in January. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have our next volunteer information session, which is going to be on Tuesday, January the 8th, and that's held at our shelter from 6:30 p.m. to around 8 o'clock. It gives an overview of everything that's going on at the shelter, and volunteers get a chance to talk to current volunteers about different areas such as adoption counseling, shelter cleaning, fostering, and events, so they can have a one-on-one, very personalized experience to get their questions answered.
Right. And people can find out more information about that event by going to your website, safehavenforcats.org, and get that information, or they can call 919-872-7233 and certainly get connected with you and find out information about that event. But we are in the midst of the holiday season, and I know that it's very tempting for a lot of parents, a lot of relatives to get pets as a holiday gift. But there are cautions that people should take when making such a bold move like that. Talk a little bit about some of the things that we need to be mindful of if you're thinking about giving a pet for the holiday.
Well, I think it's really it's a heartfelt wish to give someone an animal, but you have to really make sure that it's going to be a good fit for the person, and only the people that are going to be the owners and the caretakers of that animal for maybe the next 20 years. Cats live a long time. Really should be the one to pick it out, and to be able to know that this is the right decision for me at this time. So, you know, instead of giving a cat as a gift for the holidays, we offer gift certificates, and someone could come in and purchase a gift certificate for an adoption and give it as a gift. And Christmas is a very busy time. You know, maybe January is a better time to adopt. We tend to do a lot of adoptions after the first of the year when all the guests have gone home and the tree is down and, you know,
things
all of
kind of
that.
settle down.
Things settle down. So give your friends or your family member a gift certificate. Then they go through the process. You could always come with them and help them choose and have that fun and that really bonding experience that you're going to have with your family, picking their new cat or kitten. But, you know, give the gift certificate and let them be the ones that say, you know, a kitten isn't exactly right for me right now. I think I'd like an older cat. Maybe I want 2 cats. Maybe I want a bonded pair of cats that are 5 or 6 years old. You know, it's a real individual process that we have at Safe Haven, a very respectful one that allows people to find their way to the right animal for them.
Absolutely, and actually taking that time and to get to know the animal before bringing him or her home is important. Now, I know that there are options. Someone, if they're not quite ready to commit to adopting, fostering a cat is another good option.
Yes, we could not do what we do without our fosters. As Pam mentioned earlier, our capacity at our shelter is about 100 cats. So but we care for 140. So that difference is made possible through our fosters, and that is one volunteer opportunity that we can always use as new fosters. What does a foster look like? What a situation? It could be for kittens. It could be cats that have been in the shelter maybe 3, 4, 6 months that need a break. It could be special needs cats. It could be cats that you know, they probably will not find that regular adoptable home while they're at the shelter because of their special needs, but there are special people out there that see those cats and want to care for them. And with fostering, you know, Safe Haven provides all of the medical care, all of the food and supplies. Our volunteer fosters just provide the space and the love, and it's a win-win for both of us. And sometimes the foster is what turns into an adopter. We call it a foster failure. They end up keeping their cat. I'm one of them, a cat, Elizabeth, who is now 4 years old. So it happens, and it's great because that cat has found a home and has found the person that they want to bond with. Others just need that break for a while and care until they can come to the shelter and we have space.
We have about 2 minutes left in the program, and I know you've got 2 little furry friends here who are available for adoption. Let's meet them again. We met them a little bit earlier in the show, but this is what it's all about, is finding the right home for the little kittens, and like you said, you've provided all of the medical care for them. And
So Panthera.
so they're all set to be adopted.
They are, and they are brother kitties who are about 3 months old, have had all of their medical care. They're really, really sweet.
Okay, you're gonna be squirrely.
And I might mention our normal adoption fee is $105. That includes, you know, the kitties. They've had all their medical care that they need up to, you know, the age that they are, spayed and neutered, microchips, lifetime registration for microchips in case they ever get lost. And those can be registered to the new owner, and if they ever get out, go into a shelter or vet's office, scan them, that chip comes up, you can be reunited with your kitty cat. So yeah, so that's a pretty good bargain for all of that medical care.
Absolutely, and a wonderful service that you're providing to the community. You want people to bring the strays in so that they can be spayed and neutered and try to help reduce that pet population as much as possible. Pam Miller and Ginger Rice, thank you both for the work that you're doing, and thanks for being our guest today.
Thank you so much.
Right. That's it for this week's Tar Heel Talk. To comment on this or other episodes of the show, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, or send us an email to tarheeltalk@fox50.com. I'm Sonia Williams. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.